Well, I'm pretty sure by now that you know that this would be the last season of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. My guess is that leaking of the episode Boston was pretty much the reason for that. Well, the new season premiered just last night, so let's talk about another lost episode. This lost episode was pretty cheesy. Shake is even more of an ass than usual, and to Frylock when his uncle had died nevertheless. Also, I know that you're not allowed to upload full episodes onto YouTube, but I don't think you would get arrested for not taking it down, even if it had what was in this episode. Also, detract 5 points for every satanic reference you can find at the end of the story. At the very least, this story is somewhat written in a similar narrative as most Season 2 episodes of the show. Well, without the mindfuck moments that the story put into my head. So, too bad it's not good enough to stay, so... there we go. In 2003, the second season was ending for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Because of the fact that the show was made in Photoshop, it would be obvious that someone would edit it while no one was looking. A man anonymously edited the episode The Last One with a different plot. I found it on Windows 2000. The user named it The Funeral. It was put in a folder called ATHF The Lost Episode. It began like all Season 2 episodes, with a Dr. Weird and Steve cold opening. It had Dr. Weird messing around with gasoline. Steve came into the room and said, "The court just called. We won." Dr. Weird forgot about the leak and lit a match, and caused the laboratory to explode. It then cut to the opening. Obviously, it went to the episode. It began with Shake watching TV. He was watching a video that looked as if it was from a webcam. He then got bored and went into the kitchen, finding Meatwad and Frylock staying. They looked like they had some bad news. As Shake was paying no attention, Frylock began to sob softly. Shake started to notice. Frylock then continued and said, "My uncle just got hit by a bus." They showed me a picture of his body. After that, Frylock showed him a picture of a very gruesome body. You could tell it was photoshopped into his hands. They said his funeral was in an hour. Shake just started laughing. Very heartless even for Shake. Frylock just started to play a video of him and his uncle playing together. They both looked so happy. Frylock just could not take it anymore and used his heat rays to blow up the VCR. They had to use the card that was featured in several other episodes before this. As they got there, Frylock took a look inside the coffin. After that, the episode made several glitches, like Meatwad oddly shaved like in Mayhem of the Moon Knights. Shake changed suits, and his fingers were cut off, but not like as if you were to cut your fingers off, more like as if they were cut out during Photoshop. They were carrying the coffin. Frylock was very sad. He could barely keep his head up. In the middle of the funeral, he just gave up and collapsed. He was crushed. You could hear his bones breaking from the weight of the coffin. Shake stood on the coffin and jumped on it. You could hear Frylock's muffled screams. Meatwad was crying, trying to get to a nearby phone. Shake kept trying to do several things to stop him. He put a grenade inside Meatwad, but he just took it out. After several attempts, he just resumed jumping on the coffin. It cut to a 2 hours later card, and then a very realistic video of a police investigation, possibly because Meatwad told him that Shake only made it worse. It then cut to Shake and Meatwad visiting Frylock in the emergency room. Frylock was still alive, Meatwad was worried, and Shake was holding a gun. Meatwad saw that Shake was holding the gun to Frylock's head. Soon he became so working up and just told him that Shake was going to kill him. Frylock grabbed the gun out of his hands and shot Shake several times. Meatwad was happy until Frylock was abusing Shake to the point that he was getting several dents, and after he was already almost dead, he was drinking him dry. Shake's dead body was just getting worse and worse to the point that his screams were too horrible to listen to. Meatwad tried to stop him, but Frylock threatened him. He just did not stop trying to stop him. Frylock then shot him, ripped him apart, and worse stuff than that. The episode ended there. Sometime in 2005, a user named Go Die in a Hole uploaded a video called The Funeral, aka They All Die. It was the episode. Because it was a private video, not that many people watched it. Sometime later, the YouTube staff watched it and left a comment on his account telling him that Adult Swim was going to find out where he lived and take him to jail for his crime. Later he closed his account, and no one has ever found him after that. Until 2009, he never returned on the internet until he was under the name Dead666 Satan. His IP address was found after that, and his name was found. Jake Sanchez. He was taken to jail for 10 years. Now he has 8 left. Now the episode is in the hands of me and Adult Swim interns.